Hello and welcome to Midday Update. Coming up are the headlines for the day. 2 arrested for vandalism and vehicle theft in Oman. PNS Zulfikar pays visit to Port Sultan Qaboos. Muscat municipality removes illegal land possessions. Queen Elizabeth's funeral to take place on September 19, says royal family. Afghanistan tops the list of unhappiest countries according to a report. India signs MOU with Gulf Cooperation Council to facilitate consultation. Sri Lanka to strive for their 6th Asia Cup on Sunday, and Pakistan will aim to end 10-year title gap. World number 1 Iga Swiatek becomes first Polish woman to win US Open. Those were the headlines. Now for the local stories for the day. 2 individuals who have been arrested by Royal Oman Police for vandalism and theft of several vehicles in North Al-Batana Governorate. The North Al-Batana Governorate Police Command arrested 2 people on charges of vandalism and theft of several vehicles. The legal procedures are being completed against them, ROP said in a statement. Pakistan Navy ship Zulfikar with embarked helicopter visited Port Sultan Qaboos, Muscat from 4th to 8th September 2022 during its Regional Maritime Security Patrol, which is Pakistan's Navy initiative to contribute to regional maritime security, safeguard international shipping and freedom of navigation at high seas. PNS Zulfikar is part of the 18 destroyer squadron of Pakistan Navy fleet and is capable to undertake a variety of maritime operations in multi-threat environment. During its stay at Port Sultan Qaboos, a reception was hosted on board the PNS ship. The reception was attended by diplomats, including ambassadors and military attaches of various countries, senior officers from Royal Armed Forces of Oman, and prominent Pakistani community members. Officers and men from Royal Navy of Oman also visited the ship for professional briefings and interactions. The ship's visit was aimed at strengthening the bonds of friendship between the Sultanate of Oman and Pakistan in general and Royal Navy of Oman and Pakistan Navy in particular, as well as exploring new vistas for future collaborative initiatives between the 2 brotherly countries. Upon departing Port Sultan Qaboos, Muscat, Pakistan Navy ship Zulfikar conducted passage exercise with Royal Navy of Oman ship on 8 September 2022. As part of its efforts to deal with illegal land possessions, Muscat municipality in Seep carried out 2 field operations to remove 2 illegal plot possessions. The legally grabbed plots were located in some wadis in the Vilayat of Seep. The municipal campaign was carried out after the expiration of the specified period given to people in possession of these plots to prove their ownership. Unauthorized plot grabbing is dealt with by municipality authorities systematically by first putting a warning sticker showing the violation and a statement to remove the illegal possession at the expense of the violator. If he is known, he is given a period of 1 week to remove the violation. Otherwise, it is removed by the competent directorate after the expiration of the specified period unless the violator submits official documents proving his ownership. Muscat municipality calls on citizens who have illegal holdings without official proof to remove them in order to avoid illegal accountability, as these holdings represent an obstacle in the implementation of many housing schemes with various uses. Those are the local stories. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with international news. Stay tuned.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to Midday Update. Now for the international stories. The state funeral of Queen Elizabeth II will take place at Westminster Abbey on September 19th, a statement by the UK royal family said. The state funeral of Her Majesty the Queen will take place at Westminster Abbey on Monday 19th September at 11 BST. Prior to the state funeral, the Queen will lie in state in Westminster Hall for 4 days to allow the public to pay their respects, it read. The Queen's coffin currently rests in the ballroom at Balmoral Castle. Her coffin will travel to Edinburgh on Sunday by road to arrive at the Palace of Holyrood House, where it will rest in the throne room until the afternoon on Monday. On the afternoon of Monday, a procession will be formed on the forecourt of the Palace of Holyrood House to convey the coffin to St. Giles Cathedral, Edinburgh. The King and members of the royal family will take part in the procession and attend a service in St. Giles Cathedral to receive the coffin. Queen Elizabeth's coffin will then lie at rest in St. Giles Cathedral, guarded by vigils from the Royal Company to archers to follow the people of Scotland to pay their respects. On Tuesday afternoon, the Queen's coffin will travel from Scotland by Royal Air Force aircraft from Edinburgh Airport, arriving at RAF Northolt later that evening. The coffin will be accompanied on the journey by the Princess Royal. The Queen's coffin will then be conveyed to Buckingham Palace by road to rest in the ballroom. On the afternoon of Wednesday, the coffin will be borne in procession on a gun carriage of the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery from Buckingham Palace to the Palace of Westminster, where the Queen will lie in state in Westminster Hall until the morning of the state funeral. The procession will travel via Queen's Gardens, the Mall, Horse Guards and Horse Guards Arch, Whitehall, Parliament Street, Parliament Square and New Palace Yard. After the coffin arrives at Westminster Hall, the Archbishop of Canterbury will conduct a short service assisted by the Very Reverend Dr. David Hoyle, Dean of Westminster, and attended by the Kings and members of the royal family, after which the lying in state will begin. During the lying in state, members of the public will have the opportunity to visit Westminster Hall to pay their respects to the Queen. On the morning of Monday, 19 September, the lying in state will end and the coffin will be taken in procession from the Palace of Westminster to Westminster Abbey, where the state funeral service will take place. Following the state funeral, the coffin will travel in procession from Westminster Abbey to Wellington Arch. From Wellington Arch, the coffin will travel to Windsor, and once there, the state hearse will travel in procession to St. George's Chapel, Windsor Castle via the Long Walk. A committal service will then take place in St. George's Chapel. Under the Taliban regime, Afghanistan ranked first among the list of unhappiest countries in terms of physical pain, mental stress, mental disorders triggered by poverty and unemployment, anxiety and anger, as per a report by global analytics firm. Since Taliban took over authority in Afghanistan after the withdrawal of US forces, Afghanistan's emotional state reflected the instability and uncertainty as per the survey report. According to Gallup's Negative Experience Index, a total of 80% of Afghans were worried and disturbed, 74% in mental stress induced by poverty and unemployment, while the condition of 61% of Afghans are defined as sad. In 2021, worry, tension and sadness reached all-time highs in Afghanistan. More than 53% of Afghans wished to leave the country in a survey conducted in August and September 2021. Right after Taliban took over in August 2021, the first 2 months were particularly difficult for many Afghan civilians. As Afghanistan continues to witness a debilitating rights situation, the UN Body for Humanitarian Affairs expressed concerns over the grave condition, pointing out that 25 million people in the country are living in poverty. The United Nations Officer for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs in Afghanistan and the World Food Programme has voiced concerns over the rising food insecurity and poverty that has gripped the country's people. Meanwhile, the World Food Programme has voiced concerns about the economic crisis in Afghanistan. The economic crisis wiped out jobs, salaries and livelihoods across Afghanistan. Helping families and communities support themselves is more important than ever, said WFP on Twitter. Moreover, human rights groups called on the United Nations for stronger accountability in Afghanistan. In an open letter to the UN, they called for the establishment of a dedicated accountability mechanism by the Human Rights Council alongside the mandate of the Special Rapporteur on the situation of human rights in Afghanistan. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar on Saturday signed a memorandum of understanding with the Secretary General of Gulf Cooperation Council Naif Fallah Mubarak Al-Hajrab on the mechanism of consultations between India and the GCC. The MOU was signed between the Secretary General of the Cooperation Council for the Arab State of the Gulf and the Government of India. Besides, Jaishankar held a bilateral meeting with the Secretary General and discussed the relevance of India-GCC cooperation in context with the current regional and global situation. The External Affairs Minister is on a 2-day visit to Saudi Arabia from 10 to 12 September 2022, his first trip to the kingdom as India's External Affairs Minister. Upon reaching Saudi Arabia, Jaishankar addressed the Indian diaspora in Riyadh. During his address, Jaishankar highlighted that India has made powerful efforts to actually grow its economy and move towards becoming a higher income country. A lot of this required a vision, a prudent management of our fiscal resources. It has required policies which made it easier for banks to lend, to make it easier for small and medium companies to get lending, for self-employed people to get lending. He said that India thinks about the ways in which it can charge its credit, banking, education and labour policy. Many big reforms have taken place and we can see the result of that in two very interesting developments. In the year ending 31st March 2021, we have posted the highest export that we have ever done. Our total exports were $670 billion. We had to trade in goods for $400 billion, he said. Jaishankar also stressed that the idea of India as a trading power has become credible today. Those are the international stories. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with sports news. Stay tuned.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to Midday Update. Now for the sports news. Sri Lanka will look to earn their 6th Asia Cup title, while Pakistan will strive to end their long title gap in the continental tournament when the two teams clash in the final on Sunday. Both teams have squared off against each other in Asia Cup finals thrice, and the Islanders have won twice. Sri Lanka won in 1986 and 2014, while Pakistan won in 2000. Sri Lanka won tournaments in 1986, 1997, 2004, 2008 and 2014. They are the second most successful team in tournament history after India, which has won 7 titles. Pakistan has won the title twice in 2000 and 2012. Sri Lanka started their Asia Cup 2022 campaign on a poor note with a loss to Afghanistan by 8 wickets. But they bounced back in their next group game, defeating Bangladesh by 2 wickets in a thriller, qualifying for the Super 4 phase of the tournament. Sri Lanka bowed down the competition in tight matches, defeating Afghanistan, India and Pakistan. They finished the Super 4 phase at the top of the table with 3 wins in 3 games. Pakistan started off the campaign with a 5-wicket loss to arch rivals India in the group stage. However, they bounced back strongly in the next match against Hong Kong, skittling out the side for just 38 runs to earn a 155-run win. With this victory, they qualified for the Super 4 phase. Pakistan started the Super 4 phase with a 5-wicket win against India. They then went on to secure a fighting 1-wicket win against Afghanistan in a lost-over thriller. They lost their final Super 4 match against Sri Lanka by 5 wickets. They finished the Super 4 phase at the number 2 position in the points table with 2 wins in 3 matches. Iga Swiatek on Sunday became the first Polish woman to win the US Open by defeating Ons Jabeur in straight sets at a full-capacity Arthur Ashe Stadium. This was the pole's second major title of 2022, having won the Roland Garros early in June this year. The 2-time French Open winner continued her dominant run this year and brought the Tunisian player's second straight chance of winning the US Open to a halt. Coming into the match, Swiatek was the favourite given her rich vein of form, and she did not leave any stone unturned to ensure her winning juggernaut continues. The champion player defeated Ons Jabeur 6-2, 7-6 to clinch her first US Open. The 21-year-old Pole is the youngest woman to win 2 Grand Slam single titles in the same season since Angelique Kerber won the Australian Open and US Open in 2016. Jabeur appreciated the Polish tennis star for her win and said that she could have served better in the match, but she gave her all through the final and had nothing to regret. Swiatek had already eradicated any doubts about her candidacy for the WTA Season-Ending Player of the Year award. The US Open Championship marks his 7th in 2022, a season in which she also achieved a 37-match winning streak, the longest this century. It's her 10th title in her young career. After losing her maiden final in 2018, she's won 10 straight titles, all in straight sets. Those were all the local, international and sports stories for the day. For more updates, stay tuned and keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.